Welcome. Welcome to our daily word this morning. It's Friday. We have reached the end of another week. And as always, I'm glad you could join me for our time together as we share scripture and conversation around the word. Hopefully my voice makes it all the way through our daily word today, these few minutes together. But I'm grateful, as always, that you carve out time to be with me as we share in this conversation, that you offer greetings, and that you might gain something from our time together, which has always been my goal for all of these days together. So today is daily word number 839, and we're in the season of Epiphany, and part of the Epiphany conversation has to deal with the wise men, their journey to see Jesus. They are sent there by Herod, of course. He wants to find out what's going on. He has bad intentions. They go and then, of course, are told in a dream again to go home another route. But we hear these words from Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. On entering the house, the Magi saw the young child with his mother Mary, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So we hear the story, and forever and a day, from the time I was little until now, and our always conversations, our pageants, our conversations, the song, we three kings of Orient are. We've assumed that there's been three wise men who arrived at that place, but Matthew doesn't tell it like that at all. He says, on entering the house, they saw the young child. They knelt down and paid him homage, and they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now, maybe that's why we assume that there are three wise men. Matthew never calls them kings. There's no mention of camels. Matthew doesn't number them. There might have been three. There might have been 33 or 133. But here's the other thing. It also doesn't say that they arrived on time, in time to see Jesus at Christmas. In fact, Scripture would remind us that they were late. They were really, really late. They entered the house, not the stable, and they saw the young child, not a newborn. Isn't that interesting for us to think about? They entered the house. The Magi saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and they paid him homage. Now, this isn't to dispel anything or to give grief to those who came bearing those gifts, but it's a reminder to me in this story that, it's never too late. We are never too late. The gospel doesn't come to us ever too late. There's hope for late bloomers like you and like me even, who might learn something new, as I think we have from Scripture today, 839 days. Many of us have been in Scripture for long, long, long times in our lives. We know it, we think, well, and then we read it and we go, well, wait a minute. Is that what God meant? Is that what God meant for me? Because I think Scripture is like that. It comes alive for us at the moment, at the day, at the time that we need it. No matter how arduous our journey, how long the night, or how reluctantly we might move, we are always extended a welcome by the Christ. And the celebration continues when we arrive. God receives our presence, our gifts, our time, whenever that happens. Not only on Christmas, but whenever it happens. And we find God, we find Jesus born in our midst all the time. No matter how or where we are on our journey, On Sunday, we are going to celebrate Jesus' baptism. We are going to have the baptism of little Miss Piper. We're going to share in the sacrament of communion. And I've been working on my sermon all this week, thinking about baptism and the question, why do we baptize? You know, why was Jesus baptized? What does that even mean for us? And I was the other morning just writing names of people that I've shared in their baptism. And the names go from a little stillborn child named Fiona to a lady elderly who said, you know, I don't think I've ever been baptized. Will you baptize me? And she was 80 plus years old. And all those in between. I was reminded that, you know, some of us are late bloomers. Some of us don't have it figured out. Some of us, you know, we just need to be reminded, I think, that God meets us right where we are and offers us the gifts of hope and gold and frankincense and myrrh and whatever that is. And that's good news for us in the midst of our lives. In a bit, I'm going to see a man, a friend, who's dying. And many of you know him. And he's requested to see me, and I hadn't gone yet because of this darn cold of mine, but his daughter messaged me yesterday and said, can you please come, because he's not doing well. So I'm going to go today. And he was raised differently than me in our faith journey, but I'm going to go see him and be present with him today. You know, and just know that the God who we know comes to all of us, no matter where we are in life. And that's good news for you and good news for me as we live our lives together. So, as always, I'm grateful you could join me for our time together. Join us Sunday morning as we share in all of this that we're going to talk about. Communion and baptism and sharing some cookies and all of that we're going to do together. We'll see you at 10:15 and then here again on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day and a great weekend.